Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. I'm Martyn Warwick. We're here in San Francisco in California at the IDF, that's the Intel Developers Forum in San Francisco, and I'm talking with Lynn Comp, who is Director of Market Development Network Platforms Group at Intel. Lynn, welcome and good to meet you. Next to her is Jeff Thibodeau, who is from HP, and he is Manager HP Open NFV Program Network Functions Virtualization Business.
Right, thank you.
Mouthful, acronym city. Of course, we're in telecoms, aren't we?
Right.
That explains it all. I'm going to begin with you, Jeff, if I might.
Sure.
What does the Open NFV Partner Program provide to CSPs?
One of the things that our business, the main things we're looking at is trying to improve the time to market with this NFV transformation for the customers, the carriers. So that's probably the biggest thing we're working toward. Also to help reduce the CapEx and OpEx expenses of those carriers. But to do that, we've got to be able to transform those networks using technologies such as NFV. Partners are important to that because it allows us, as open source and open standard platforms like with Intel and our software with our Helium OpenStack products, allows us to be open to the community so that it allows much more innovation to come in through these partners, through their software. And so we're able to test that software in our labs, and then that allows the customers, in this case the CSPs themselves, hopefully to have the confidence that these applications run as advertised, and that they have some confidence, and then they can reduce their testing times in their own bringing these applications into their business. So that's our intent, is to help them become more flexible and to do it quick, to introduce new services faster.
So Lynn, over to you now. What can you tell us about what you're doing with network builders?
The Intel Network Builders program started about 2 years ago because we had our communication service providers coming to us and saying, we would really like a modular ecosystem. We would like to be able to use the best of breed components, such as the solutions from HP, and know that we can put our own different accelerated virtual functions on top of those solutions. And so the Network Builders was envisioned to bring all of those players together so that they would have a common place that they could interact, they could discuss standards, they could work together in lab situations, and make sure that whatever is built in the end for these CSPs is as operational and as stable as the last solution that they had in that door.
Thank you. Jeff, back to you again. It's like ping pong this.
Yeah.
How do HP and Intel then collaborate on NFV innovations?
So we spend quite a bit of time together, actually. In our labs, we have our Foundry lab in Fort Collins, Colorado, and that's where most of the, I'll call it the engagement with the reference architecture occurs. So we rely on Intel technology inside of the DPDK and things like that. And those labs are there to help us exploit those capabilities and then put that into our reference architecture, our infrastructure, our platform that we have to test all those applications I referred to just a minute ago. So it helps us to take their best technologies, integrate that into our platform, and then hopefully that gives us the best performance out there with our customers using those applications.
Thank you. So Lynn, can you tell us to begin with, what is the Open Network Platform?
Certainly. The Open Network Platform that Jeff referred to is something we call the Open Network Platform Reference Architecture. And it's really intended to be a toolkit that takes all of these open standard collaborations across this ecosystem and shows how to run it best on the Intel architecture. So things like the Data Plane Development Kit, which is DPDK. It's a set of libraries that shows you how do you run these I/O functions best. So we're pulling in Open Daylight and Open Flow and putting an optimized solution together, hardening it, and then giving it back to the community. So partners like HP can take that out in a commercialized product and then serve their customers and our comm service providers jointly.
Thank you. So Lynn, what's next then? This is a continuum. What's next as far as the labs is concerned and as far as your collaboration is concerned?
So to date, we've done a lot of work with their Fort Collins lab as well as with ISVs to do VNF onboarding. And that's a mouthful that describes interoperability and making sure that the solution working all together is as performant as expected. So the next step after that will be extending that open network platform toolkit and adding even more goodness and more optimizations in collaboration with HP, and then working with partners further along around the world in additional VNF onboarding, because everyone has their own preferred vendor worldwide. You have to be able to localize, and so that would be some of the next steps that we'd be taking past the 5 labs that we're already working on jointly.
Jeff, would you mind just mentioning a bit about both the 6-wind and Helion OpenStack carrier grade with Wind River?
Okay. 6-wind worked very, very closely with us and Intel. And what they've done is allowed us to optimize the DPDK that she mentioned earlier, the performance of that in our platform. So they're they're one of our technology partners and played an important role in helping us make that work even better. And so we're very pleased to work with 6-wind. In the case of Wind River, what we've done with them, they're an Intel company actually, and we've partnered with them, and they've helped us to create the carrier grade version of our Helion OpenStack distribution. And so we have partnered with them back in November. I think we first announced it and worked with it, and we just actually announced the general availability of that product here at the end of July. So we're very thrilled to have Wind River as a partner, and they've done an exceptional job of making the carrier grade version of Helion OpenStack, so that can give our customers the confidence they have the carrier grade capabilities in that distribution.
And this is something that Intel is super excited about, because 2 years ago when we came out with Intel Network Builders, that kind of collaboration is exactly what we were hoping for. It's not just an Intel benefit, it's our partners all being able to put these solutions together jointly, and then the whole industry benefits from it.
Right.
Jeff, then moving along, how do HP and Intel collaborate to enable the virtualization of network functions?
Well, we've worked together quite a bit already, but one of the things we're looking at doing, we were talking about the labs, is building some additional labs inside of Intel to do a couple of things to help us with determine some benchmarking that we want to look at going forward. And it also gives us, of course, additional capacity, which is lovely when you're dealing with hundreds and hundreds of software vendors that want to come in and test and their interoperability. So it's certainly an advantage to us, but it also gives us a chance to collaborate and share best practices and learn about interfaces, the things that always are difficult when you're trying to bring software together in this big system of this NFV platform, which is hardware and software, and the interfaces are very tricky, and it helps us to work through a lot of that and share that learning.
NFV is very much the flavor of the month. I know that SDN and NFV are the yin and yang as far as the technology is concerned, but NFV seems to be very, very important at the moment. There's been a lot of talk about it moving from proof of concept through the labs to actual deployment. What NFV deployments do you actually expect to be around within the next, say, 12 months?
Can we take that one?
Sure. I think that one of the things that's been great about being on this journey with HP is we went through this journey of virtualization in the enterprise. And we're seeing a very similar trend where they are picking off the workloads and testing out which ones are less risky, perhaps. So the integrated messaging system, for example, that's one that we see a lot of deployments on right now. But over time, we're also seeing a lot of what they call customer premise edge. And that allows these service providers to very, very quickly take up the promise of NFV and create new services opportunities with their customers in minutes that would have normally taken them months to procure new equipment and then do a truck roll. So those are the two that I think we're seeing a lot of right now. How about you,
true,
Jeff?
Very true. That's exactly where we're spending a lot of our time with the customers that are coming in. They're somewhat risk averse, knowing they have to do this, but they still find that, like she said, the virtual IMS, virtual CPE areas seem to be places where they're comfortable in trying deployments. One example of a huge deployment that we announced at Mobile World Congress back in March was the Telefonica Unica project that we were able to win. And with that, we're being asked to include quite a few vendors, ISVs, their applications, their VNFs. And so we're bringing those into the labs now, and we're testing those for interoperability, and we're characterizing the results. And all of that goes back into Telefonica to hopefully give them some confidence that these things actually work in their environment. So we have an opportunity to work with a real live customer in a very important rollout. So we're learning a lot, and it's going to really help us in further deployments as we work through these.
Now, Lynn, we're here in sunny San Francisco, where the fog's just clearing outside, I think, at the event here. And can you tell us what's happening at IDF this year?
A lot of exciting things. So we have our Network Builders community. I think this is year 3 that we've had this community. So dozens of demos, 20 or 30 different demos that we've selected from best of breed vendors. Whereas HP is there, Brocade, we've got Metaswitch that we're working with. There's also a session that we are teaching together on how to characterize and get these implementations stable. So the final thing that we're very excited about is we will be announcing an extension to the Intel Network Builders program, and that will be in the 5G mega session, and it really is going to focus in more on all of the challenges and opportunities for solutions integration with partners like HP and some of the other companies that we've been mentioning. A few examples of those companies are Brocade and Metaswitch, and perhaps you can go through your partners who are also at your booth.
So we have a booth, booth number 169 if you're looking.
I'll be there.
We have 3 partners we've asked to join us in the booth, and they're also part of the Network Builders program, as well as the Open NFV partner program. ContextStream is now an HP company. They're one of the partners now in the booth. Metaswitch and then Intel Security is also there with us. So they'll be displaying their demos of some of their products running on our HP Open NFV platform live from the Houston lab. So that's really exciting to see that running live. There will be people there to talk to if people are interested in more information about those applications. And of course, we'll be there talking about the HP platform and how Intel works with us in creating that platform.
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure. So Jeff Kibadoo and Lynn Comp, thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you. Appreciate it.